Hello everyone, in this video I will show you our new product. You can see this is KinCony F24 smart controller, and we have designed this board made by ESP32S3 large memory size, and it is supported by Home Assistant using ESP Home, and support Tuya mobile phone application, support voice control by Alexa and Speak and Google Home Speak, and it also supports KCS V3 firmware and support Apple HomeKit directly. And in the newest firmware, we are testing it will support the lock-down system, the lock-down mini server directly to support. And in this video, I will show you the hardware details and what's new in KCS V3 firmware. Okay, let's look at the hardware design details firstly. Okay, let's look at this F24. You can see it's very long. It also supports install on the DIN rail. So you can install in your power distribution box and support install on the DIN rail. And let's look at this one. And you can see we have designed this board. This is F16. You can see the size. And just this one is 24 version, and all used by the OMRON removable relay. So that the max is 16 ampere. And this time we will open this box and look at what is inside. And firstly, let's look at the interface. And you can see that have an Ethernet port and a Tuya external antenna and the ESP32 external antenna. And this is the reset and the download button for ESP32. And this is USB-C and download the firmware. And this is SD card. And you can insert this SD card at here. So that the KCS V3 firmware will save the logo, the release date. When it changed, the date and the time will save to the SD card. Okay, let's look at this is free GPIO. You can use for extend 4G module, or you can extend it by yourself. And this is analog input, 4-channel analog input, 0 to 5 volt and 4 to 20 milliampere. And this is RS485 A and B. And the power, because this board will have two versions. One version is 12 volts and one version is 24 volts. So you can choose different version. Will use a different power. And this one is digital input, 24 digital input, also designed for long distance. You can use max 500 meters for your dry contact sensor. And this one, you can see this is designed for the new one. And let's look at this side. Because if you want to extend some components, you can vent at this hole. So maybe you will extend some temperature and humidity sensor or some X2C device. You can connect here. And also you will see this have some pins. Okay, you can see in this board that have I2C pin defined, 3 volt and ground and 5 volt. So you can extend your components by yourself at this hole. So this is for the DIY room. So this room is DIY room. So you can connect your component by yourself. Okay, and this board also have menu control button. This button without any software, without any firmware, just a physical controlling this relay on and off. And you can see the arrow relay. The arrow relay you can see have COM and normal open 2 points at here. So this side is relay, and this side is digital input and analog input. And this is LCD screen that will show the internet and the Wi-Fi IP address. Okay, let's open this box and look at what is inside. Okay, let's open this cover. Okay, let's look at the PCB body design details. And you can see this is switch, and this LED indicates and this is LCD and ESP32 and the 2-YA module. And you can see the ESP32 S3 and this KinCony F24, and this is removable. So if the relay is bad, you can easily to remove and install a new one. And let's look at this side. Okay, in this bottom of this board have a battery, because this have designed the RTC clock. If you want to save the clock after power off, you can install your battery at the bottom of this PCB board. Because you can move this keyboard and you will install the battery inside of this board. Okay. Okay, let's look at this F24 controller, and it's power on and connect with the Ethernet cable. And you can see the LED blink, that means the 2-YA is ready. And you can see it here. I can use this button to turn on and turn off this relay. So if the internet disconnect, and if no hardware, no firmware, and no any software, you can see I can also use this button to turn on and turn off relay manually. So this is work without software, without firmware. So just it's the final way you can manually control this relay output. Okay, I can connect with the Ethernet cable again. And this one you can see the 2-YA is offline because I have not configured. And this shows the Wi-Fi IP and Ethernet IP. And here you just use this IP address login by your board. Okay, the next let's look at our PC compute and how to use firmware and what software will support by the F24. Okay, let's back to my compute. You can see this is our web page that showed F24. It's very powerful and the body is very large. And this have some results. You can check different results documents in our phone and ESP home YAML file and the KCS v3 firmware. And you can see it here in our phone. This is 24 room. That's ESP home YAML. And every hardware resource Arduino source code demo at here. And the ESP32 S3 I/O pins defined at here. And maybe you will write your Arduino code, and maybe you will configure by ESP home, and maybe you can use KCS v3 firmware directly. So if you want to use the ESP home, you can see the ESP home device have support almost every KinCony module. You can see it here. This is F16. We can also see here that we have posted that we upload to ESP home device web page soon. So this will be directly to you. You just copy and paste this YAML file. So that will be very easy. And the second, you can see this is KCS v3 firmware. We are under testing. This is beta version, and the final version will release soon. So you can see the A32 Pro F16 and B16M and F24 will update soon. So this is under testing. That will have many new functions we will release. And at here, you can see this is our KCS v3 firmware. I have connected the loader. You can see the firmware version, and you can see the input. You can set for the input, reverse or not reverse, and the output, the different options for the output. And you can see the IR, because that have an RF receiver. You can run your RF receiver module and RF remote, so you can learn the signal and send out the signal by yourself. And this time the new version, the MQTT support to learn and to send the command. And the sensor in this new version, you can see the sensor. You can see listed have added this one and this one. This is SHT31 I2C sensor, and you can connect with this I2C sensor to the GPIO extender. And this TS means that this one, you can support RS485 temperature and humidity sensor by this new firmware version. So you can connect with many different IS-485 with different address. So that can work in one IS-485 bus. For long distance, max support 1 kilometers about the temperature and humidity sensor. And this you can define at here different the 8 channel different GPIO. You can connect with 8 sensors. And also you can see the monitor. As a monitor, you can see that will monitor the different protocol states, such as the KinCony cloud server and MQTT and TCP, HTTP, UDP, and GPS and Apple HomeKit and UDP. And ADC, analog input, and the sensor, if you define, will show the value at here. And the RF, you can see we have let the RF state showed at the monitor. At the monitor web page, that will be the sensor. RF sensor is triggered, you will see it turn green. So this is the new functions, and the input state, digital input state, and the output you can see. I can turn on, turn on for this controller, and off for this controller. And this is the FDD functions is also very powerful. You can set your digital input or analog input and make automation with the relay output, or send a short message, or send different notification by the 4G module. It's okay if you add the 4G module KinCony G1 controller to this module together. And in here you can see the network. You can see that support the LAN and the Wi-Fi and the 4G module if you have added the KinCony G1. So you can just define which pin you have used for XD and TXD pins for the SIM7600 module. And this one you can see the protocol generally, and you can see that will be support KinCony cloud server, and also is support the MQTT auto discovery function for Home Assistant. Just a 0 config, 0 code. You just fill this Home Assistant mosquito MQTT broker information, so that the F24 controller or hardware resource will integrate Home Assistant automatically. And you can see the MQTT, you can connect it with your own cloud server by MQTT, and HTTP and TCP and UDP and IS-485 Modbus protocol all supported by this F24. And you can see this also supports Apple HomeKit. You can set the Apple HomeKit every function. You can see the input and the output and the different, this is without a DAC, but it have ADC. So you can set the name, or you enable or disable this channel. It's very easy. And the next you can see this will be support the logSOM integration. So that will be integrated to logSOM very easily by UDP command. So you just set config and enable it and set the logSOM mini servers IP address and the port. So that will be auto connect to your logSOM mini server and used by the UDP command to interact and communication with your logSOM mini server. Okay, this is the system, and you can see this board uses RTC. That will be have a clock, local clock, so that the internet is broken and the internet is disconnected. So the clock is working locally, because maybe you will have some timer, have some time schedule functions, so that you can running locally. That will be stable. Okay, this is the hardware and the software firmware introduction of the F24. If you have any questions, you can leave a message to us. Thanks for watching.